Today we will be multiplying polynomials, and we have 2 days scheduled for multiplying polynomials just because there are a few little things that we do have to make sure that we are super solid on before we move on. When we are multiplying polynomials, there are different ways that can show us that we need to multiply. So I'm going to try to do one of each. I think I've got them covered. And so whenever we have a number on the outside, we know that we are distributing. So here I'm going to take 3x and multiply it by both terms. So 3x would multiply by x. And if you need to write it out, 3x times x plus 3x times 8. That's what we're doing. We're taking 3x and multiplying by each term. So 3x times x gives me 3x squared plus 3x times 8. Multiply the numbers together, and that's 24x. So with number 2, we just distributed the 3x. It works the same way as distributing a number. Just make sure that we keep that x on there. On number 4, we are multiplying two monomials. So it looks like they have a bunch of terms, but remember, terms are only separated by plus or minus. So I have 5a cubed b times 2ab. So we're going to take 5 and 2, the two coefficients, and multiply them, which gives us 10. A cubed times a times b times b. So that's 10. A cubed times a, we're going to add those powers together, a to the 4th, and b times b is b squared. So like always, we make sure that we keep our variables as they are. Just make sure that we're changing those powers as we go, if we have to. On number 6, we're distributing again. Make sure that we distribute to all 3 terms in that second set. So again, we could write it out, 3x squared times 2x squared plus 3x squared times 5x plus 3x squared times 4. So 3x squared times 2x squared, 3 times 2 is 6. X squared times x squared, we add those powers together and we get 6x to the 4th, plus 3x squared times 5x, 3 times 5, 15. X squared times x, that's x to the power of 1, so we add those powers together and we get x cubed. And then on the end here, we have 3 times 4, which is 12, and then x squared stays the same since there's no other x that we're multiplying by. Now, number 8, we've solved these problems before, and some of us know it as foiling the problem out. We can also call it double distribute. So you're going to distribute once with the x, and then you're going to distribute again, but with the 2. So x times x minus x times 3. That's going to be the first part. And then we have negative 2 times x minus negative 2 times 3. So we could write it all out like that, or we could just go ahead and go for it. So x times x, excuse my tablet there, x times x is x squared, x times negative 3 is negative 3x, negative 2 times x is negative 2x, negative 2 times negative 3 is a positive 6. And like always with our double distribute problems, we have something in the center that we can combine. So x squared, negative 3x minus 2x, negative 5x, and then plus 6. So we should have seen problems like that before, in Algebra 1. Then on number 13, now we have a binomial, 2 terms, multiplied by a trinomial, which is 3 terms. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to double distribute, but this time we're going to multiply by 3 terms. So x times 6x, raise the power on the x by 1. X times 4x, raise the power on the x by 1. And x times 5 is 5x. And then we do the second distribution, we multiply by the second term. 3 times 6x squared, we get 18x squared. 3 times 4x, we get 12x. And 3 times 5, 15. So we are not done there because I have like terms. I have 4x squared and 18x squared, 5x and 12x. So I'm going to combine my like terms. 6x cubed plus 4x squared plus 18x squared is 22x squared. 5x plus 12x, 17x, and then 15, nothing happens to it. So we're done there. So then the rest of the problems on here are for you to do. I am challenging you to do 17 and on because those have 3 terms by 3 terms, and I want to see what y'all are able to do. So we did 5 of the problems. That leaves you with 15 problems for your homework. Make sure that you turn it in, and thank you for watching.